Zenith Firearms sent me this MKE Z5RS. It looks very much like an H&K MP5, but it's Turkish made. It's supposed to be made on very same tooling as H&K from what I've been hearing. I wanted to try it out. SB Tactical sent me this H&K brace with the HK parts adapter, and I just happen to have a Surefire 4-end, a really old Surefire 4-end for an MP5. Even though I never had an MP5, I never had an airsoft MP5, I just really like Surefire flashlights, so I got one of these just to have in the eventuality one day I would have an MP5 to play with, and I do now. I mounted my Trijicon MRO on there. The MKE came with this Picatinny rail, so we're going to shoot it, test it out against my personal favorite, the Scorpion Evo 3. I don't normally run the Holosun on there, but right now it's what I have. Normally I run the Trijicon MRO, but that's sitting on the MKE 75RS right now, Z5RS. So I like this gun a lot. Everyone keeps telling me that the MP5 is better, it's the king. I've only had a handful of experiences with the MP5 platform. Most of them, in fact, I think all of them are all full auto, and it's just me standing there shooting it. This is just a test drive. I'm going to test, a couple rounds, probably 30 rounds out of each one. I know how this one handles, but it's been a while since I shot, so we'll shoot it again. See how they handle back to back, and then I pulled out the Wiselight Arms Sterling Mark IV that I picked up. I've shot this before. I like it. It's a real fun little gun. Obviously this is a rifle and not a pistol like the other two. The other two are considered pistols. This is a rifle, and that's why it has this stupid long 16-inch barrel. It is a fun little gun to shoot. So I got some new Sten mags by Tapco, I think makes these. Yeah, Tapco makes these. They do technically fit, they lock up. I have yet to try, see if they chamber load and chamber around. But I just still do have the original Sterling ones. So let's go ahead, start at it. Sterling. That's a fun little gun. It just feels such a heavy bolt. It's a nice, fun, cyclic rate. It's not full auto, obviously, but it's a fun gun. Very, very soft recoil. It does jump a little bit, but I wasn't really trying to hold it down, squeeze onto this gun that much. Now, the unknown factor, these Sten mags. I've heard Sten mags do work in Sterlings. Let's see if this works. Hey! The polymer Sten mags do work. Now, the one thing I'm gonna have to do, probably have to sand them down a little bit. They feel a little bit tight compared to the metal, but $9 polymer magazines. I'm a big fan of polymer magazines ever since Magpul came out with their P-mags. I want everything to be polymer for magazine wise. So that's awesome. A little update, modern update to the Sterling Mark IV. The Tapco Sten mags do work. Now these are normally for Mac 11s. Most people use them in that, but I have this, my Stormtrooper blaster. It's Old Faithful Scorpion. So I can definitely see, yes, the reticle, the Holosun, it is jumpy. The definitely a different impulse, recoil impulse than the Sterling. Sterling is, I could just feel like a typewriter or something, almost like a grease gun, just this big, heavy, slow, almost like a steam engine. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up, but it feels real slow and heavy, and it's nice, and it's, it feels like a machine. This thing is snappy, it's a little bit jumpy. I've shot this in competition before, and it works great. Now let's try the king, the H&K MP5. Oh, obligatory, gotta do that. 30 rounds magazine. That's cool. Not a big fan of having to reach for the safety. I can't quite grip it with my thumb. I have to reach my thumb over to get that. But all right, let's try this thing out. It is softer. It's not as snappy as the Scorpion Evo 3. I would say in terms of recoil, the lowest would probably be the Sterling, because I think the bolt is so much bigger, and I can feel things moving inside. This one is like halfway between the Sterling and the Evo 3 in terms of jumpiness and snappiness. Definitely the Scorpion does have a much snappier recoil. This is a little bit slower, not as smooth, and I wouldn't say smooth, but it is quite different shooting the Sterling versus this and versus the Evo. I like the Sterling, probably the best out of all those recoils, just because it feels fun to shoot. The one aspect though, the ergonomics on the Sterling is not that great. Right? Bring this up, very, very low bore, or sight plane is very low. You can't coat witness anything. The magazine's in the side. There's really no quick way of taking this magazine out. Right, and I guess, nope, they don't drop free. You have to grab it and push this button, pull that magazine out to get the new one out. Now the MP5 is kind of similar, but we'll go to that next. But yeah, grabbing this, pulling the magazine out, it's what you got to do with this gun. You know, the other issue is the bolt charging handle. It's up here, so you got to reach over, pull it, and let it go, or you can reach up and pull it. I kind of want to keep my hand on fire control, so I'm always going to reach over. I'm not really going to reach underneath like an AK. Safety lever is pretty bad. The way it works is you push forward with the thumb. It's not terrible. It doesn't get in the way. So like the Scorpion, oh man, the Scorpion safety, that one's pretty bad. But I've changed it. I just like this gun because it's what the George Lucas used for the Stormtroopers, what he modeled their E11 blaster on. It's just a cool gun. I'm very happy that I got this. It's an all steel construction. Now, going back to the MP5, how does that compare? Right? Magazine feeds from the bottom, like kind of like an AR-ish. No real way of dropping that mag with just my fire control hand. I have to come up, I have to reach this paddle with my thumb and release it, kind of like an AK, if you will. I have to do that. That kind of sucks. Safety, not ambidextrous. I kind of have to reach around to get to it, to pull it down. It is what it is. Same problem on the Sterling. The MP5 has the same issue. I have to see my sights, or the sight irons are very low to the top of the receiver. So it's really, really difficult to try to get anything to coat witness on this. And in fact, I just can't. I have this nice Trijicon MRO, nice field of view, I can see, but I still have my irons in kind of the middle of my way. And if this thing stops working, I cannot see through my irons to witness any or to shoot anything. Later on, I'm going to get some 9mm suppressors from Silencer Shop, and we're going to play around with this thing suppressed. Now, because of the clearance issue, I'm going to have to take this handguard off. It's not going to work. Now, Surefire did make an offset adapter way back in like the early 2000s. It's almost impossible to find now, that offset adapter, so I'm not going to be able to shoot this thing suppressed with the flashlight on. No big deal. Now, there is a modern upgrade you can get, an LED upgrade. Let's see if I can get one of those. This is very old and antiquated. I've updated with an LED light, and now it's not turning on. Huh. Why is it not turning on now? Battery's dead? That's weird. My light's not turning on. That sucks. Maybe the batteries are dead. Well, anyways, MP5s are fun, but this is $1,500. go back to the Scorpion. The Scorpion is like the Miata, if you will. That's sort of like a Lotus Cadillac, right? It's classic, it's small, it's, you know, quick, it's fun to drive. This is like the Mazda Miata or the Toyota FRS or GT86, if you will, Subaru BRZ. This is the cheaper alternative, just to have fun, like a little roadster. It's just a fun little gun to shoot. I like the ergonomics on it. With the magazine, right? I do like the fact that the magazines on the Scorpions are transparent, translucent. Obviously, you don't get that with the Sterling or the MP5. Now, maybe if Taco made translucent magazine polymer ones, then yes, the Sterling could have translucent magazines, but that's not a big deal. I like this. One-handed operation. I can take that magazine out with one hand. MP5, you just can't do that. Now, I think there was some third-party accessory that you can sort of screw on to the MP5 paddle to make it work. I don't have it. This is me remembering stuff from like early 2000s playing airsoft. Now, the safety, as I mentioned earlier, on the Scorpion is pretty bad. On this side, it's not too bad, right? That's on safe, and then you rock it down and it goes on to fire. Okay, that's fine. I can do that, reach that with my thumb. Putting it back onto safe is kind of annoying. It's not impossible, but it's just, there's so much resistance on that safety. HB Industries made this. I have the HB Industries safety on there. Originally, I got the CZ Safety Delete because when the safety is actuated, you see how it comes down at an angle like this? It would come down, it was ambidextrous and it came down. And when you choke up on this grip and get your hands up high, it would dig into your index finger, knuckle. And that's annoying. So, and it really didn't help for me to switch on and off that much. Yeah, it kind of worked. It wasn't that great. HB Industries is great. It says they call it the AK style safety selector. So it's in the down position, it means the safety is on. And then when I'm ready to rock, boop, that's it. Look how easy that is to manipulate with just my index finger. Part of it's because it's so long, you get a lot of leverage, a lot of mechanical advantage in that little safety lever, much more than this little short thingy here. There's other people who make safeties. I really like this one. I haven't really played with like the PMM one, or there's another guy on some CZ Scorpion group, he's making his own. They all seem to be derivatives of this kind of safety design. This is just awesome. Now the one downside to it is it protrudes out, so it's real easy to sweep that off and get it to go hot. So you gotta be diligent, gotta be paying attention to what your gun's doing. In fact, I would, if you're, I don't know, standing around waiting for something to happen, I would actually put my finger over the safety to prevent it from moving into the off position. But my personal requirements for what I need out of a little 9mm sub gun, one is price. This is $700. Okay. You got some nice irons. You can co-witness stuff on here. I've seen a lot of people. I've done it myself. A little red dot like a Burris Fast Fire or Trijicon RMR would perfectly co-witness with these irons, and they work great. My Trijicon MRO with the low mount, I think does co-witness on here. You do have a charging handle very much like an MP5, where it locks up, closes just like an MP5. It could be a little bit bigger just to get further away from all the sharp knobby stuff. Big thing is you do have Picatinny rails on the side, you have Picatinny rails on the bottom. MP5 doesn't unless you go after market. Sterling, good luck. I bolted a little piece of Magpul Picatinny rail on there just to put an optic on there, but it's not really accessory friendly, especially because I want to keep the underfolding stock there. I can't really put rail on it. My friend John Saunders of New York NYC CNC, I had him help me mill the side rails off and cut M-lock slots. So as you can see, it's adorned with some nice M-lock accessories, a little QD offset light mount and a short little Picatinny rail. I could have left the side rail on there, but I can remove this rail if I don't need it. Even though I just leave that rail on there all the time. But now it makes it a little cleaner. I have a lot more options of accessories I can mount on here now. I thought that the cheese grater picnic rail was a lot necessary. I do like the M-Lock holes a lot. All right, next up on my test, using the SB Tactical brace as intended, right? This is a pistol, this is a brace, this is what I'm using it for. So, guard on the MP5, thanks to SB Tactical. Now because of the way the brace ergonomics work, and it's in line with my arm, I can't isosceles this the way I would like, so I'm just gonna have to get behind the gun to shoot it. Oh yeah. This is real easy to use. Yeah, I could totally see this. Yeah, it's a lot of weight to hold out there, but this balances that out, so I'm not really having to worry about controlling the weight this way so much, just holding it up. This hand is helping support that, lift up, and I just focus on aiming that dot and squeezing the trigger. All right. SB Tactical also gave me the IWI Uzi Pro brace to play around, see how I like it on the Scorpion. It's a brace. It's just going to be just like the SIG brace, or, well, not the MP5 because that one won't fit. Yeah, so it's just like any brace. I can definitely see how this would work pretty well. Oh, did I lock? There we go. Loaded, chamber ready to go. Safety on, safety off. Trigger pull on the Scorpion when I'm shooting it like a pistol isn't that great. MP5 trigger is much easier manipulating like this. So I can definitely see the guns jumping a little bit. The trigger pull, man, I never really, when I'm cheeking this thing, I'm not really noticing how bad that trigger is. It's not the greatest. It's not nearly as good as my Geisley triggers and my AR or my Super Scar trigger, but I'm not expecting that. But wow, what a difference. When I got this thing shouldered up, cheeked up, real close to my body, and I'm pulling the trigger, for some reason, I don't really notice that trigger being that awful. But way out here, and now my body is sort of muscle memory thinking, okay, this is going to be like shooting my normal handguns. I shoot Glocks, and I have an STI Steelmaster. Love that gun. Great trigger. Awesome trigger. This thing is awful. This trigger is pretty bad. So take that with what you will. I didn't really notice that with the MP5 at all. Right? No, not bad at all. I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 pound trigger. Just, you know, not bad. Not bad at all. Especially putting out there like a handgun. Really not that bad of a trigger. But wow, that Evo, I don't know why that characteristic of that trigger just completely changed on me. And I know it's still the same trigger that I'm used to. Pulling up close and tight still works, but weird. Very weird.